Just About Sailing, November 2021. Yes, I really do mean November. I know this is coming out in December, but there's a bit of an embargo on it for reasons that I'll talk about in a second. So my name is Paul, this is Just About Sailing. The other person you'll be meeting, and this is my daughter Lucy, who's been doing a lot of work. This is going to be a fairly basic video. I mentioned last week that a few things had kind of gone wrong, and I asked whether or not I should share some of that. And half of you said no and half of you said yes. So what I'm going to do is that the story, because this is to do with my son and a few other things that have happened, is actually coming out in one of the national newspapers in the UK and also on a television channel called ITV. You might have heard of it. It's on the other side of BBC. It's the one with the adverts on it. And there's an embargo because although I've been interviewed and stuff, I haven't seen the article, haven't seen the TV thing. And I'll put a link below, so I'm not going to mention any more about it, but there is a link below, or there will be a link below if you want to watch it. If it comes out in time, I'm going to put a little clip with no sound up there to show what that is. So one of the things that I've got to do over the next few months is to get my health back sorted out. This is not going to be a channel about an old man whinging about his health, I promise about that, and I'm actually feeling quite positive about stuff at the moment. And I think I can get back to how I was a few months ago. There are a few other projects ongoing. I'm just looking at this, which will be coming out soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make clips and I'm going to kind of save it up a little bit. So come spring, there'll be a few more sort of project-based videos. For example, the handrails, internal grab rails. These are well needed actually. There is a gap where you can't actually hold on inside, and I've figured out exactly where they can go. I bought them. And I've taken the garage roof off on the outside, and I know exactly where I can put them to stop water ingress. So that's a fairly simple job that will be happening. I want to get the rudder back on. I did the rudder ages ago and I haven't actually put it back on, and part of the reason for that is because the tiller was so disgusting. So I've sanded that down, I've varnished it, I've refurbished it, and it's looking absolutely fabulous. Me and Lucy have been doing a bit of sort of sail work. I've got an extra foresail and I always fancied something that was more of a Yankee cut, and the existing sail I've got is one. And bilge pump, I'm replacing the bilge pump because you have to actually open the locker to do it, which is weird. It's a really bad design flaw. So yeah, there will be a few more things coming out. There will be a Christmas special as well, so sorry about that. So I'm just going to look, without further ado, let's have a look at the work that Lucy has done to finish off doing the cutting back of the paint to make Serenity shiny again. Right, carry on. I'll get a bit of an action shot of you doing something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So people get the wrong idea and think I actually work for my chocolate.
You don't get chocolate. Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll film the chocolate. Oh, do be careful with that stuff because I knocked a bottle of that over, as you well know.
Every time I am closing it when I am not actively putting it on, because I know me.
Just a quick one to the camera. I had to buy some more of that stuff because I knocked it over in the cockpit. It all got grubby. Then I had to filter it to make it clean. But of course, by filtering it, I think I took the bits out that actually make it work. So
yeah.
There you go.
I thought it was just a different
You
consistency because it was medium. But this has the same consistency as heavy. It's weird.
This stuff is magical.
I might actually do this next bit on my feet.
Right.
Oh, maybe I won't.
You would press stilts. Good press stilts for Christmas.
No, I won't.
Yeah, it's just an awkward. So this back bit is awkward. So because it's a freezing cold day, we've decided, or Lucy's decided, that it's quite good exercise to do it by hand. That is so astonishingly different from.
I can just about reach the joint.
Reach the scratches.
Yeah, the scratches. That was my point where I stopped on the way down.
Actually, this light, Serenity, is a lovely colour. And a very unique colour, as I found out a few weeks ago. I was trying to match it.
It's not a good thing to be a unique boat.
Right, I'll leave you to that. I want to film the back of the boat. Right, you've never seen this before. This is the actual award ceremony. Lucy has done the whole of this side. It looks great. There's a shadow across it because the sun is really low this time of year, but I've said she's not getting the chocolate until she polishes that bit out properly, because she's done a sloppy job there. The rest of it is great. So she's just had to go and get the...
That was a test.
Can you reach that?
Yes.
No, you can't.
Yes.
You can't.
Yes.
No, you can't.
Yes.
No chocolate unless you go. You can't. You're a mile from it. You've got to get the proper stuff. Honestly, you cannot get the staff nowadays. So let's wait for a few minutes whilst Lucy does that bit. I can't believe you've missed it. I can't believe you missed that. Oh, you're going to do it without the...
No.
Oh, you would. Go on.
Oh, no.
Go on, you can do that.
If I die, do
Go
I
on.
get 2 bars
Go on,
of
you
chocolate?
can do that. She's so... would you do that? She's so gullible, isn't she? It's incredible. She just decided to risk her life to do...
Can you not film this?
I'm not filming it, it's the camera.
Oh no, it's really far away. Don't stop filming. Well, you're going over to wobble it. Yeah, if you fall over.
You right that bit as well?
Yeah, I'm trying. They will be standing, but...
Oh, there's a little bit just up there. That's a real stretch for it.
Holding on to
Just
that.
there. I could have reached up here and done this really easily, couldn't I? In fact, you could have reached it up here.
You're horrible. I hope water gets in your shoes.
It won't. Right then. Selfies.
Seconds. Just a moment. Do it safely.
Chocolate. See, a lot of people think it's a joke, but I really do pay my daughter
It
in
slides on my
chocolate.
face.
Yeah, that'll be going in a minute. That is a really good job. Well done, you. That looks fabulous.
I'm brilliant.
That front bit there, that just looks... I mean, obviously we've got the shadow of the hedge on it, but that is...
Did you mean to leave the front hatch open?
No, I didn't, actually.
Probably close that.
I should close that. I'll do that in a second. No, that was an accident. It's because it was warm the other day. It was uncharacteristically warm. I don't think it is, as long as the rain's not going... Anyway, it'll be all right.
It's your boat.
Glad, thank you for spotting that. Right, this is a much duller day, but Lucy's now finished the starboard side as well, so Serenity is extremely shiny. Absolutely lovely job. It really does look like a completely different colour. There is still another coat of some polishing stuff to go on, and there is still the wax, but it's obviously a bit too cold to do the wax at the moment, so very pleased about that. And then hopefully early in the new year, or probably in the spring actually, I'm going to just put a coat of anti-foul on just to make it look nice, because it'd be nice if she could actually look pleasant from the outside. But yeah, lots of chocolate later. Job well done. Yeah, so there's only a few jobs left on that, in terms of there's an extra bit of sort of polishing that needs to happen, and then some waxing. And then one of the things I do want to do, I've had the keel checked and it's okay, so I want to do a little bit of work on the seam between the keel and the boat. Do a bit of sanding down, which is Lucy is going to be able to do that, and then actually just put some anti-foul on, just so from the outside Serenity actually looks nice. So that's a project that will happen fairly quickly. But the other thing is I need to replace the seacocks in the cockpit locker that drain out the cockpit locker, because they're dreadful. They're the old ball valve type things. They're really rusted up. You can't close them or open them, but they are really far under the water, and I'm quite nervous about that. So let's have a clip and let's have a look at this, then I'll talk about, or ask you a question in terms of what you think the right way of going ahead with this might be. So this is the thing with the drains from the cockpit. These are obviously going to be replaced, and they are way below the waterline. They literally go straight down, and there's another one on that side, and you can see the hose coming up here, and the hose actually goes to the back of the cockpit. Whereas if I could actually put it at the other end, I could go straight out the back of the boat. The trouble is, I think it slopes slightly forward. I'll show that on a diagram. So I'd love to be able to put them at that end, but it's a pain having them under the water. But is it worth making the change? Probably not. I don't know. So this is with the yellow hose, that's the water inlet for the engine, and that's the hole, the drain hole for the cockpit. And you can see, I'll go back out here, just how low that is under the water line. I've actually setted this up so we can barely see you, or we can't see you. Oh, nearly fell down a hole.
You're an idiot.
Should do it slightly more from the side, I think. Right, I'll put a little graphic up there so you're looking at the same thing that I'm looking at. But basically, the blue line is the water line, which is about here actually. It's about the bottom of the red boot stripe. So that's the normal water line. Although when Serenity is going along, the stern does dip a little bit, and apparently that's a design feature, and somebody explained to me why that happens, and I can't remember it. So sometimes the water is sort of at this level. The orange line, that's the line going up from the cockpit sole if you carry it on, but because it's at a bit of an angle, what I've done is I've drawn the pink line, which is parallel to the water line, just to show the difference, and then the green tube at the end, at this end here, that is that's the existing pipe. So the idea is that if I did get it to drain backwards, where would I have the outlet, and what outlets? And what I'm thinking of is sort of at or above the water line on either side, which would give me, put this down, which would give me about that sort of distance, that sort of drop. Let me see if my hands are in shot. Yeah, that sort of drop, which is about a foot. Is that enough? I don't know. But it means that I don't have this massive amount of pipe work, hose, under the water line, and it would also be easier to do, because to put an extra couple of draining outlets out here, which are not going to be even in the water when Serenity's at rest or at an anchor. And I probably would put a seacock in there. A bit more difficult to get to the seacock, but I can still get to them. So, don't know. Really thinking about this. Not sure if this makes sense at all. But it might actually be easier to do this than to replace the seacocks and through holes. Don't know. Very undecided. Yeah, so I'm not sure. So this is the picture that I put up, the one that I mentioned. This is where the green line shows where they are, where the seacocks drain out originally. This one shows a way of actually going from the front of the cockpit. It would need a massively long piece of hose to get to the back. Is that worthwhile? An alternative might be this, which I've heard of some people doing, which is to do that but also have an additional drain at the back that's going straight out. I don't know. I'm not actually sure what the easiest would be. The easiest, you're probably thinking, would probably be to replace it just as is, and that hasn't caused any real problems today. It's just the fewer skin fittings underwater the better, as far as I'm concerned. And I do know of people, not with Mirages, but people who've kind of made that change. But none of those are massive jobs, but it does worry me having such a long stretch of pipe, and if that gets blocked up, then that's a real problem. So I'm veering on the sort of keep it as it is sort of at the moment, but I'd be interested if you know of anybody, or if you've done a similar sort of job yourself. Anyway, as I said, that's it for the moment. The next few videos are going to be a little bit short until the springtime, but there will be one a month, and the next one will be the Christmas special, which is hopefully I'll get this one out before Christmas. Okay, look after yourselves and see you next time. Cheers, bye.